What is up, y'all? Today we're looking at something a little bit different. We always see every new thing that's coming out, every new knife drop. It's new, it's exciting. I like showing those and talking about those too, but I really like looking at stuff like this. These are some old Spydercos. These are actually both from the mid to early 90s. Well, that's when they were first designed. We are going to start with a knife that was originally planned in 1990. And the production started in 1991, and that is the C16PS Wayne Goddard. So Wayne Goddard has been designing knives since the 60s, and he collaborated with Spyderco in the early 90s to get this production model out. And this is a knife that you look at, and it may not seem like anything super special. We've got to remember, this is from 1991. Look at the coating on this clip, the shine on that micarta. Just such a nice knife by today's standards. This was top of the line in 91. We've got a little bit of crowning on the spine, and this has got, what is this? Gen 1 stainless? I believe that's, I know the Gen 2 is close to Aus 8. So this is just likely an earlier variation of that steel. It's popular in kitchen cutlery, developed in Japan, where this knife was produced. And this is the S, so it is partially serrated. We've got the, looks like a hollow grind on that. And just the lockback. Excellent ergonomics, very nice and thin, really cool knife, really awesome piece of Spyderco history here. I believe they still do some collaborations, some Goddard knives with Spyderco. This particular model, I believe, went until 2012 or 2013, I want to say. So that's a pretty long run for this one, and I can see why. It's still, again, by today's standards, a great knife. I mean, the lockback isn't anything that I shy away from. This would still make an excellent knife. It's very smooth, and all of the edges are rounded and chamfered. It's very comfortable in the hand, but we've only got a single position option on the clip. Of course, it is tipped down, which was pretty much the main option for the day. Really cool knife here, though. Really awesome piece of Spyderco history. Glad I was able to take a look at it. So we see we've got a full pinned construction here. There are no screws. There is no easily disassembling this knife. There is not one hiding under that pocket clip either. The action on it is nice and smooth. It's not going to flick open or drop shut, but it is certainly good for its day. I believe this particular release was 1996. I don't think this is one of the original 91s. See, we've got Wayne Goddard's signature there, and still pretty sharp. I think this might be the factory edge still on this. It appears to be, and it is sharp like the factory edge. Let's see how much Spyderco's factory. Oh yeah, that's definitely the factory edge. You can see those kind of where that belt skips a little bit, those lines there. So that's something you'll still see on the Spyderco edges today, and it is surprisingly sharp. Surprisingly sharp. I'd be happy to get a knife that sharp out of the box today, nonetheless, 35 years ago. So let's go ahead and set that aside, and we will go to something else. Go to the real interesting one. This one's kind of, I want to say, the star of the show, because the Goddard is really cool too. But the other one is one that I couldn't even find pictures of online. There are many variations and prototypes and versions of it. And if you were in my live stream a few weeks ago, then you got to see this one. But this is a Q. And this knife, it's got a lot of variations. It's they did some milling or cutouts on this blade here, and there was a lot of different patterns, and I could not, for the life of me, find this particular pattern. Look at that. I believe these are in 440C. These originally, I think, came out between 96 and 97. In that time, they also got the Blade Magazine's Knife of the Year. Extremely lightweight on this guy. Like, I think just over 1 ounce, 1.2 ounces, I want to say. We've got just a very simple 2-piece plastic construction. Phillips head pivot screw. Everything else appears to be pinned. And we can actually, I'm not going to mess with it, but this has a 4-directional tip up, tip down, left or right hand carry clip, and it appears like you just pinch it and move it, but I'm not going to mess with that at all here. This one still is sporting the factory edge. Doesn't appear to have been used or sharpened at all. So this one's got a really cool locking mechanism. I cannot recall the exact name of this locking mechanism, but I believe this was the first and probably one of the only. I don't recall seeing this on any other Spydercos, but then again, I'm not very versed in all of the interesting mid-90s Spydercos like this, but this is kind of like a backstrap lock where it comes open and this piece comes up here, goes into place. Then we've got a nice, pretty solid lockup on it for the small weight and size of this knife, but we can just lift that up to release that lock and it closes shut. Fully skeletonized scales as well as the blade. Very interesting here. Really cool. But I want to say they had over 50 different variations of that cutout on that blade with these. So I'm curious what other ones are out there. You can kind of try to find some pictures of them online, but I just have not been able to find this particular one, which is pretty neat. That's pretty interesting. I'm glad I was able to get my hands on one of these to check them out. And that brings me to how I was able to get my hands on these to check them out, and that is because of Ray with WeBuyKnifeCollections.com. If you're into really interesting rare pieces or custom knives, go check out WeBuyKnifeCollections.com. He's probably also got something that you've never seen before over there. Kind of different type of knife than this. There's more customs, really mid-tex kind of rarer pieces like that. But this is a real cool piece of history here. I hope you find these as interesting as I do. I certainly really appreciated the opportunity to take a look at them, and I was excited to be able to show them to you as well. And thank you for watching.